they're depending on who you are and what you believe in. The table for us as friends may not be available.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean I'm going to celebrate your death or I'm going to wish ill upon you. But like, there are certain things that people believe in that, and certain things that they do. We're not going to be friends.
Hey, welcome to Not a Fitted Podcast. It's your boy Anthony Conservative Chicano, and we're just gonna get right to it. Many of you know it's been the topic that everybody's talking about. I got the bishop, I got the token, I got everybody here. Of course, we're talking about Charlie Kirk, and we're talking about Turning Point and who he was and what took place. First off, when you guys first saw the video of Charlie, for this. Just to clear the air, because everybody's arguing about, was he murdered, was he assassinated, whatever. You can use any term you want because it's still the same thing. He's dead. So I don't care what term you guys use, but I'm gonna say assassinated. When you saw him assassinated, did you guys think that video was real?
No, I didn't. I mean, you had to send it to me, and I was in the middle of doing something. I texted you some stuff afterwards, like didn't watch it right away. Then I saw it when I finally got to stop, and I was like, "Oh, this supposed to be some AI video."
Did it not look AI to you? What about you?
I just know it didn't look good. Like you, there wasn't. When I saw it, I was like, "Yeah, he's not surviving this." I guess that was my initial.
But did you think the video was real?
I think yes, because right away I looked it up, so it wasn't. Okay. I mean, I look up stuff all the time.
See,
so.
I didn't look it up. Somebody sent it to me, and I didn't look it up to see if it was, to see if it had happened. And I first thought, I was like, man, why would somebody post an AI video of Charlie being killed, right? Like, you know what I mean? And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, it's real. Like, I couldn't the problem was I couldn't unseen what I saw.
Yeah.
Now that I knew it was real. Yeah. And I thought, man, that was just an interesting, matter of fact, because at first I thought it was AI, I didn't process it right away. I was like, why would somebody make an AI video of him being killed, right? And then once it kind of set in that he was, assassinated, he was murdered, I literally just had to take it in for a minute, like, hey, what's going on? And then context, like, did he say something? Did something happen? Did somebody walk up? Like, all the context of what was taking place. And I immediately went to social media and I said, hey, not knowing if he was deceased or not, I said, hey, we need to pray for him. And it was crazy to see the backlash just on praying for somebody who got shot. So after you had a minute to take that in, did you have any thoughts about that after you finally realized, like, hey, what I just watched was real? What'd you think?
I mean, I was saddened by it. I mean, again, like we talked a little bit about him last week, but I didn't know a ton about him or like his family life. And so to know that he, was married with, 2 young daughters, was like, man, it's just sad. And also, I mean, him being a believer, it just, I don't know. I was saddened about it. And to me, it was like, hey, you don't know what tomorrow brings. And just reflection on myself, like how you live your life. Like you don't know when your last is.
Right. Would you start the process once you realized it was not AI, but that it was in fact real?
Yeah. I mean, everything what Deshaun said. And then in addition to that, it's like, we were really at a place kind of in our history where this is okay for a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are okay with the fact that, a husband's not coming home to his wife, a dad's not coming home to his kids. And so it's sickening and it's sad that, I mean, whether or not, and we talked about it before, like we didn't always agree on the delivery of what he would say, but I was just, and we got protested every week for over a year by people who, would do certain things. I'm not saying to this extent, but it makes you think like, hey, you put yourself in his shoes for a moment and like, man, that's people are really out there who do stuff like this.
What, I have a question. what was your immediate thought? Or let me rewind. I posted that we should pray. I don't know if you guys saw that or if you saw some of the comments, but was your immediate thought that if you said anything pertaining to Charlie Kirk, prayer or otherwise, hopefully that he would get well? Did it ever cross your mind that some people might not like that and may push back on that? Did that ever cross your guys' mind?
No, I had no idea. No people respond that way.
Well, okay, well, elaborate on that. Why?
I mean, I'm not on social media.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, the fact that someone doesn't care,
Does that shock you?
No, it doesn't shock me that people wouldn't care. It shocked me that people would stand out against like being happy for it.
Oh, hold on. So you delineated between the two. You're saying you're more shocked by people who didn't care as compared to people.
No, I mean there's people who celebrities who die or things happen and you just like that doesn't affect my life and you look past it. I'm sure there's people like that right now. Like you're too busy trying to get your bills paid. But the fact that people come out and be joyful about it, that's shocking.
What about you, Mike?
I think I'm more a little taken back with the divisiveness in the Christian community over it. I think the fact that people came out and celebrated it sickens me, but it also doesn't surprise me. The fact that people would be upset with other people who are sad about it doesn't really surprise me. I think kind of maybe if I was to be surprised, it was how divisive this is, kind of like in the church itself, like just hearing people talk about it, in the sense of like that caught me off guard.
Okay, so I'm glad you guys both said that because that's what we're going to talk about. Who is this person, Charlie Kirk? Like who rise to fame, all this stuff, provocateur. Who was he? So I did some research. My question to you guys is, when you think of Charlie Kirk, because it's one thing to get it off of Wikipedia. It's another thing to get it off an obituary. It's another thing to get it off a right-wing site or a left-wing site, right? But it's another thing to know how you first heard of Charlie Kirk. When you first heard of Charlie Kirk, what did you think, or when I say Charlie Kirk, what's the first thing that pops into your mind?
I mean, now it's just, sort of person who helped get Trump elected.
Okay.
Before
when you ever heard of Charlie Kirk,
I've heard, I don't know, a guy, he debates people
okay.
like on school campuses.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. The guy that would go around debating people on college campuses.
Okay. What's crazy is that's what I knew him. Prove me wrong guy. He would set up a tent and say, prove me wrong. He would do open, honest debates. Matter of fact, that was his rise to fame. I think he had once said that he bought like a $10 table from Home Depot or whatever and just went around the college campus and said, prove me wrong. Just go ahead and prove me wrong. Let's have open dialogue and open discussion. To me, and I could be wrong, and you guys could chime in, I didn't really know he was a believer. I've always known Charlie more as a political activist who had a faith base. Am I wrong on that? When you guys started knowing of Charlie Kirk, did you know him as a strong, devout believer? You personally?
From the clips, I assume that. I've never seen a full video of his.
Okay.
I've seen clips of his.
Okay.
I think I did see, actually, I seen one, he was on one podcast, I saw that.
Oh, with the Gavin Newsom one? Or
No, Pastor Brett David, he was on
okay.
there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, so that's a recent one then, which if I could just say, just footnote, you go look at old Charlie and you go look at Charlie Kirk in the last 3-4 years, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference.
Is he like a little bit more like tame now or what?
And very much more faith-based. Very much. Very, very outspoken about his faith. Very outspoken about his faith. So, and we're going to get into that. But did you know him as a political activist, or did you know him as a believer when you think of Charlie Kirk at first? What did you know him as?
If I were to classify him, almost, it's probably a bad classification, but almost like a politician.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah. So you know him as more political.
Right. But like somebody who will lead with like biblical values, but they won't necessarily be preaching the gospel.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's interesting. So, I've looked up a lot of old stuff of Charlie, and he was definitely a political pundit. He was a political person who talked about the policies of conservatism or right wing, I should say Republican policy, not necessarily right, because that has its own delineation there. So I knew that. But would it be surprising for you to know that his largest demographic of people who supported him, I think it was close to 60%, are all Gen Z boys? Gen Z males. Did you know that was his large following?
That would not surprise me.
Yeah, I know it was young man. Mm-hmm.
So he single-handedly shifted that by himself. Like that's turning point. Like that demographic, I think it tripled for Trump in 2024.
Wow.
And that's why they're saying Charlie literally is the one who basically handed Trump that presidency in some of these college towns. Like he flipped that stuff that major. That's how much he was of a political and faith-based icon to the people, to this generation. Like they're grieving the hardest. They are really taking this. They're taking this really, really hard. So if I was to say to you that people who maybe don't know him that well, or maybe who lean either in the middle or a little bit to the left politically, that the number one thing they say about Charlie Kirk is he's a racist, does that surprise you?
No.
Why?
I mean, the way what he talks. I mean, I know people say that about him. So
okay. So did that surprise you that people would say Charlie Kirk is a racist?
No. That's usually the card that they give us.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Have you yourself ever been called a racist? Just asking.
Yes.
Have you ever been called a racist?
Just when he's with me.
I don't think so.
No, you never been called a racist?
I might have been. People say stuff. I don't care a lot of times. So it could have happened.
We got to make this happen.
Yeah. When we were going through our whole tower thing, they didn't call you a racist?
They would at first. Didn't realize. Okay. People are afraid to call me racist.
Okay.
Because I'm black. It doesn't fit their their motive, what they're trying to do.
Hold on. That one time we were in the parking lot.
Oh, someone
came screaming you a racist.
See?
Yeah, Proud Boy racist. Yeah, Proud Boy racist, remember?
Did. That was, yeah.
We got to get him a shirt.
And then you told her, you're calling a black guy.
Yeah.
From church. Yeah, I remember that.
I was thinking another guy came up to me like, "You guys are all racist." Da, 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 da. Like everyone who works, I was like, "I work here, except for you." And I was like, "All right, bro."
So
yeah, he did. Okay. Somebody did scream at me.
So I have been called a racist on numerous occasions. The reason I bring this up, just because someone calls you that, does that make it true?
No.
Okay. So I have a clip that I would like to show you guys, and I'd like to present to you guys, that they meaning people who call Charlie Kirk a racist, this is their number one clip. Now, I don't know who it's number one. Just listen, I don't know who deems number one, number two, but according to algorithms, this is the number one most. Can I just say that? Because people are like, well, that's not the number one clip. I don't make this stuff up. Okay, I'm just telling you this is the number one. I want you to hear it, and then I want to get you guys' opinion. Okay, is this a racist comment? Or is this something that could be skewed as racist? Or is this something that he's speaking his opinion on, and you can take it any way you want? So we'll just go. But I want you to watch this clip.
All right, let's play cut 81, please. And that's why I think this United story and the DEI story hits so hard, because we've all been in the back of a plane when the turbulence hits, or when you're flying through a storm and you're like, I'm so glad I saw the guy with the right stuff and the square jaw get into the cockpit before we took off. And I feel better now thinking about that. No, I mean, like, you want to go thought crime? Like, I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the
you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have done that before. That's not an immediate. No, you wouldn't have done that before. That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created.
So you guys piggybacked off of me because you knew what I was saying. Because what I was saying is that DEI creates and fosters sinful, unwholesome thought patterns. Because when they say we're going to hire people based on race and not competency, and so you start to just say, what's going on here? Blake, you're part of this. This has gone so viral.
It's like I said.
22 million people have seen it on Twitter
It's what
alone.
I said at the end. This is the reality the left has created, that they crave.
So that is the number one clip in its entirety. They usually clip it right at the end where he says, if I see a black pilot, I wonder if he's qualified. And it's 22 seconds long. And that's the clip that has had millions and millions of views. And that's why I gave it to you in its entirety. They deemed that, and Nate and I were talking, there's two other ones, which I'm not going to play them all. There's a second one where a guy's last name is Chink. First name, pardon me, thank you. His first name is Chink. but the way it's spelled, you could phonetically say like Chenik or something. But the guy himself says my first name is Chink. That's what you call me. So he kept referring to it, and they said that hates Asians because he called this guy a Chink. Anyway,
was he Asian?
No, he's not. He's like European, one of those Slavic, CHE. Anyway, so what? I know. Anyway, and then the next one is he went after a Congress member, and then he went after Miss Brown Kanjani. I think that's how you say her name, the Supreme Court Justice Brown. And he was saying that they were DEI hires. Well, come to find out, the legislator, she comes out and says she was a part of affirmative action DEI, and that's how she got nominated. So he says all this stuff, but this is number one. And so, not defending Charlie Kirk, I'm just asking. That's what. Listen, on the Not Offended podcast, we have dialogue. We don't close anybody up. We have dialogue, and I respect your guys' opinion. Could you see? Let's do low hanging fruit. Could you see how people of color would say from that comment that he's a racist?
Yeah, his second part, he says like sinful like thoughts. He's talking about himself?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said. That's what he said. It leads me to and others. He says it leads me and others to sinful thoughts.
Yeah, so he says it's racist.
Yeah.
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 So what's
what
up? Yeah, okay. It was racist. He said it was racist.
Well,
if it's a simple thought, what he's saying. It's simple.
Hold on. Can you clarify? Can you clarify the question?
Yeah. So,
standalone, is it racist?
Yes.
Without the second part of the
right. Correct.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You can see how people would deem that racist.
Yeah, standalone is racist.
If I cut that off of the 22
part
seconds.
Part A is racist.
Extreme. That's what I said.
Well, he comes back and explains it, and he says it's racist.
That's not even the full clip.
But he said it's evil, right? These are evil thoughts.
He said, correct. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
What he is saying is because of these policies, you are, in fact, okay, I see. I want to debate something with you. I don't see it as racist. I see it as prejudice.
No, but I'm just basing off. I'm not even arguing anything. I'm saying, what is he when he says it's evil?
But prejudicial thoughts are evil.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I guess, what is he saying? If it is evil?
No, I agree with you. I'm saying, but I see when I see racist, and maybe we ought to define that real quick. If I had to ask you, and I'm asking both of you, by the way, like, what's the difference between prejudice and racism? Prejudice and racism. Do you think you could articulate that? I don't even know if I can.
I think I would separate them two with prejudice maybe is the way that I think about different, like, let's say groups of people.
Okay.
And racist is a negative thought that maybe could even hurt or demean those different groups.
Okay. I actually like that. That was good. You came up with something better? You got something better?
No.
Or that was good?
Because I think we all have prejudice.
See, okay, that's.
But I don't. But I think. But that has a lot to do with how you grew up and all these different things. But I don't. But I wouldn't say that I'm a racist.
Okay, I'm for sure prejudiced. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, I think that you would be lying to yourself if you said you had no prejudice.
I'm for sure. Because you know how many times like I moved into like an all white neighborhood and I just be like, bro, this might not go good for me. Like I was just in Missouri. But you stay. You keep your heart open to people. I did.
Right?
Yeah, I did. No, but I'm saying like I think everybody has prejudices though.
Yeah.
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 I mean, okay. So going by his definition, which I mean, it's probably not flawless, but it was good. In my book, it was good. I mean, we can go to Grok or ChatGPT if we want to, but my thing is, I feel like that comment, and it's still evil, by the way. I'm not justifying it. It's still very short-sighted. I felt like his comment was more prejudicial than it was racial.
Yeah, I mean, either way, how we define it, he saw someone. He said, if I see someone, I'm gonna think an evil thought about this person because of the color of their skin.
Well, he didn't say by the color of the skin. He says by the program. This program questioned him by the color of their skin.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was a white person, if their skin was lighter, he wouldn't think that.
Because DEI. Well, hold on. Because DEI didn't advance for white people.
Yeah. So now, but you're giving it because of DEI. Now I have evil thoughts.
No.
But I'm saying that's what you're tying into.
That's what he said.
No, this is what he said. I'm not arguing anything. He said it.
He said because of DEI,
I have evil thoughts about this black pilot.
It has led people to have evil thoughts
Yeah.
about. Well, I don't think he just meant a pilot, though. I think he meant.
I mean, I'm saying this
people.
is an example. I'm sticking close to
yeah.
what he said. So.
Yeah, I think it's an example.
But the thing, I don't have to justify him. This all. I mean, when he died, I felt remorseful for like him and his family.
We're trying to go objectively from all points of views, right? Because I'm sure, just like you know, you're just like me. You've had people on both ends. And can I just say something, just before we even go any further? You know how hard it is to be in the middle, to be caught in the tension of the middle. It's so easy right now to go on one side or the other and just get in your little echo chambers. But you have people who are really trying to be in the middle, who are trying to see it pragmatically. Because the gospel is in the middle. The majority of people are going to hear the gospel are in the middle. And you over here, I mean, I can already imagine what this episode is going to get. We're going to get it from both sides. We're going to get it from all sides. And really, we need to fight to be in the middle. We need to be able to talk to people and have dialogue and conversations. Okay. So going back to this. So this is the clip, once again, that they said Charlie Kirk is a racist. So do you sum up Charlie Kirk's whole life by one clip, and therefore is your ultimate conclusion is Charlie Kirk's a racist?
No, I wouldn't completely draw that conclusion. I don't know him, but I can see people. You know, you take this. But I mean, this is one clip. These are one thing, and so I think you have to look at more of like what he said and what he believed. Right.
Okay. What about you? Do you think people are doing that, though?
No, for sure. People are even looking at this. They're just hearing people talk about it.
Okay.
Do you think that what?
That we could surmise and make a complete conclusion of Charlie Kirk's life. Was he 30 or 31? I think
31.
31.
No, because I mean, I hope people don't do that for me.
Okay, is that not the same thought I had? Have we all not been caught in a weak moment and said something out of pocket?
Well,
how about this one? Said something wrong? Like you could have worded that a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, so on one hand, you look at somebody like him in the career he chose and things like that. He's always going to have a microphone up to him, right? And he chose that. But at the same time, there's going to be times where everybody who has a microphone up to them says something that they wish that they could have articulated better or differently.
Okay.
And so, you know, I don't know. Maybe that was his stance when he walked away from that, going, "Man, I wish I would have said that a little bit differently." Or maybe he's like, "Yeah, I said it exactly how I feel."
Okay, just one more thing, because I want to show you something else. If a person's a racist, as compared to prejudicial, if a person's a racist, such as hypothetically Charlie Kirk was, would he help any black people if he's a real racist?
I don't know.
Well, do you think if he was a real racist, he'd help any black? By the way, you know him and Candace Owens were like besties. Like, just so everybody knows.
I will ride the fence on this one.
Okay,
because there are, so growing up in Portland, Oregon, I saw and I was around a lot of people who would say that they are not racist, who did some very racist things.
Okay.
And so on the flip side of that, if he was a racist, could he have done some things to help people? Yeah, possibly. That's why I said I could ride the fence with this one.
Okay, this is just me, because we're all free to speak our own personal expressions and opinions and stuff here. I just don't see. I've been around extremely racist people, and they're racist. They don't do exceptions.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like there ain't no exceptions. So I'm gonna show you a clip of a man who went on social media. By the way, he's getting eviscerated. This is bad. This is all bad. The comments, don't read the comments. How about that one? And he shares the Charlie Kirk story. And I thought it was interesting. So I just want you to watch this.
Charlie Kirk sent me a direct message, and I'm going to show you what it said. This is almost 6 years ago exactly now, as of this video. I had not spoken to him in person or on social media. He started the conversation. You know what he said? 3 words. You are terrific. Now bear in mind, this is back before I was blessed with the followership I have now. I had fewer than 10,000 followers on Instagram, very small Facebook presence, wasn't even on TikTok at the time. But the fact of the matter is, this young man, this leader of Turning Point USA, reached out to me and saw something I had done. And he felt so moved that he reached out to me himself to encourage me. And then he went a step further. He invited me to the BLS, which is the Black Leadership Summit Turning Point USA was putting on in Washington, D.C. I told him, transparently, I was in between jobs and didn't have the money to fund my trip. He told me that they had scholarships available and to email him directly. and he'd be able to take care of it. I did, and that's the story of how I got to be a part of the Young Black Leadership Summit, which was instrumental in springboarding me to where I am today. Now, I share that story because he didn't have to do that. And if he was a racist person, why would he do that? I'm so tired of people being besmirched by the tired liberal lie that anyone they don't like has to be some sort of racist. And I'm not immune to this. They call me racist myself. Of course, it's ridiculous on its face, but this is the nonsensical nature of your average leftist. They really want you to believe deep down Charlie Kirk hated all black people. He saw the best in everyone. He saw in me something I didn't even quite see in myself at the time, and he chose to encourage me. That is why I will literally and metaphorically pick up that mic and continue the work that he started, because I myself and many others are tired of being slandered and maligned by individuals who have nothing to sell us but fear, panic, and lies 24/7. I had to share that story with you. I thought about keeping that to myself, but the more I see him being typecast as some sort of evil person, the more I cannot be silent, and I hope that you will not be silent as well. It is time for action like never before. It is time for voices to rise like never before, and I hope you will join me in that effort. So that is the real Charlie Kirk, the one they don't want you to know, but the one I will continue to remember and honor with my actions into the future. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully you share, and hopefully you get busy as well, because we all have microphones to pick up, and we are all Charlie Kirk.
So we'll start with you. What did you think of that clip?
It was a great story for him. I'm sure that was a blessing to him. I mean, it's
the point he was making,
but the point that he does make a point, and it's kind of what we see a lot in regards to people who are white who don't have liberal leaning values are considered racists.
Mm-hmm.
So, thus.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think he had a point though when he said Charlie didn't have to reach out to him?
Oh yeah, I mean there was nothing to gain for Charlie to reach out to him and help fund his.
So is it a far stretch for me to say like I just don't see real racist people doing that? Now I'm not saying prejudiced people. I'm saying racist people.
Yeah, you also it's kind of like the same thing that you hear, same type of story that you'll hear every so often with Trump.
Okay.
Where he's deemed a racist, and then there's people that'll come out and say, hey, he actually did this for me. He actually did this for me. He actually did this for me. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, he's racist to other people.
Okay. But it's the same. Okay. Let me get your thoughts. What did you think of the video?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's cool that he got helped out. I mean, Charlie does benefit somewhat from it. I mean, you're trying to promote this, what you're trying to do. And so getting people there obviously helps you in a way with the program you're trying to run. Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, you can't know truly his heart. I mean, I'm glad he did that, but you also said this other things. So you just leave it gray. Okay. And so, I mean, that's for anyone. You're responsible for what you say. So, and I mean, these are great actions. And
so,
did he say other racist stuff?
I gave you the three that were trending. But here's my question to you. Why aren't we attacking Joe Biden then?
Oh, I don't know why people aren't doing that. I don't know. Because
you ain't black if you don't vote for him.
Yeah.
And that was on a nationally syndicated, almost all black audience. Where's the outcry? I'm just asking. See, that's where I guess he was getting at. Is like, people pick and choose what they want to be upset with. People want to choose. Didn't Joe Biden? Didn't he want Kamala Harris's thing call black people colored people on a gaffe? I think he did. And that was just like 2 years ago. It's like, and somebody leaned over and they were like, "We ain't been called colored people for a long time." But that's how old Joe Biden is. No disrespect to him, but I'm like, we pick and choose at these outrageous things. Now, I will attest and I will say, like, we all have prejudicial moments. That's just who we are as people. It depends, upbringing, raised, whatever. But to call somebody a racist is to close the conversation, because that's what people do. I'm going to call him a racist, therefore we're not talking about it no more. Well, we need to talk about it. We need to discuss it. Because I don't think anybody's going to defend, the way he worded something or the way he said something. But I think he even ousted himself when he said, "Hey, this leads you to sinful thoughts that you don't want to have." Okay, he's admitting. But I think by admitting that, you're saying, listen, I understand I'm in need of a savior. I understand that I need a reforming of my heart that only the gospel can do. And I think that's what people's missing. If we were held accountable, which we will be for every word we speak, we're all in trouble. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. I might be in the most trouble, but we're all in trouble. And I think that's what people are are missing. So here's my question. Even if he was a racist, should we be celebrating someone's death? I'm asking. Should you really be taken to the streets with a party that someone died? Would you celebrate somebody's death?
No, I personally wouldn't. I guess it's your opinion of who he is or what he is. What does he represent? I mean, people are happy when, you killed, some of the terrorists. Yeah. I mean, people, when you killed Balan, like people were excited about that. People were happy about that. So it's like, how do you view him? How is the media portraying him? And so I think that's one big part of the reason people need to figure out, what did he say? What did he teach? Like, go listen to more than just simple clips.
Should believers be celebrating anybody's death?
That's a good question.
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know.
Okay. Should believers be celebrating anybody's death? What you got, Mike?
Oh, you hit me with the anybody. I don't think that we should be celebrating anybody's death. No. That there are some people where it's a struggle. You talk about Osama bin Laden, people like that. So that's why I said you hit me with the anybody.
My heart is glad for the justice, right? I'm glad to see justice is fulfilled. But in my spirit and my soul, I'm saddened that a person lost their life.
In regards to?
Anybody. They don't have a chance to repent. They don't have a chance to get it right. Mm-hmm. They don't have a chance to make amends. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've got the cold-blooded Richard Ramirez killer out there who wants no repentance or amends, then my heart rejoices that justice was done for the innocent victims that were killed. I get it. But I still don't take joy in it. I don't take any joy. I don't. I just don't see that in the life of Christ where he took joy in any of it. So I'm saying to all believers, if you're a believer and you call yourself a believer, you need to check yourself. Mm. There's no joy in that. There's no, that person has a value. See, and that's what we're getting at. Charlie Kirk has a value. He's an image bearer of God. If you're a believer, and he called himself a believer, that's your brother in Christ. This should not be a struggle for you. It shouldn't. It should not be a struggle for you. That's your brother in Christ. Flawed as he may have been, he's still your brother. But what will people really say after you die? Will all your skeletons come out of your closet? Will people have opinions about you? This is the questions we got to ask ourselves. But now that you know what you know, should believers be celebrating Charlie Kirk's death off of a couple comments they thought made him a racist?
Oh, no, for him personally, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know any believers who do. I mean, so there's the people I talked to are believers who maybe didn't like the way people were handling it. It was something totally different. They weren't celebrating his death, but they were just like, why did no one care about these other issues as well? So, but.
Okay. Should believers be celebrating in his death?
No.
When you saw people on there, whether it was political people or just influencers, whatever, and they were literally celebrating his death, what were you think? What did it make you think?
People just don't care. I mean, they have no heart for people. They don't care about people. I mean, you think about his family, like, man, they didn't deserve that. Like, for what? What did he do? What did he do that was so evil that he deserved to get killed?
Well, he was a racist, Deshaun. That's what he did.
Yeah, but I don't think you can go just kill someone because they talked, because they were talking. Right.
What about you?
It's just sad. We've got young kids, and it makes you just wonder, like, man, how much worse is this going to get? And just when the fact that, like I said earlier, husband's not going home to his wife, dad's not going home to his kids, son's not going home to his parents. Whether you believe in what he believes in, it's just messed up.
So, should we honor him in his death? If we don't, should the people be doing these vigils and honoring him, or what's your thoughts on that?
If you feel led to.
People are mad that they did the whole half mass for the flags that Trump ordered that.
Well, he's the president. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I was like,
it's his choice.
Okay, my thought was, where was this outrage when Joe Biden let guys in girls' bathrooms? You see what I'm saying? Like I people pick and choose. Like, dude, I mean, you know, you didn't care about what people thought then, and it is their prerogative. But you didn't care one way or the other?
That
the flags are at half mast for Charlie for his passing.
No, I mean he gets the choice to do it or not. I mean that's the power he has.
What'd you think?
I didn't think about it until you said it right now.
Oh, okay.
But just kind of like off the top, yeah, I don't know where I'm at with that. Not because of who Charlie is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not because of what Charlie stood for, but because it's like, okay, what are the conditions in which we tell everybody, flags are half mast?
Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know that. I know they've done it for certain police officers who lost their life or Congress members who have passed or something like that. But I actually don't know the boundaries. Somebody, if you all know the boundaries, chime in. But I think it's at their discretion. I don't think it's anything else. But I want to play a little bit of the other side right here. If I'm Donald Trump, why would I not? This is one of my greatest political friends, political allies. If I'm Donald Trump, why would I not do that? I'm just asking. I mean, to me, that makes sense. Does that not make sense to you guys?
No, yeah, for sure makes sense.
So, I mean, I could see that. But what do you think about all these churches that are hosting prayer vigils and stuff like that for Charlie Kirk? What do you guys think about that? Like, is that something they should do? Should you be honoring this person? Should you not be honoring this person? I mean, you can say whatever.
That one I don't know.
I haven't thought about that one either.
I don't know. I mean, because you look at it, and it seems like he's more of a political figure than he's just this Christian leader.
Okay.
And that's how people view him in that way. I mean, that's why you're having, you can say this is why the flags are half mast. It's like, you were just a political leader and not leading the Christian church. So why are we doing this for him in this way? To me, like a bigger impact on my life is like, hey, John MacArthur is way more important to my life as a believer than Charlie Kirk was. It's like, are we doing all this for him compared to Charlie Kirk? Mm-hmm. I don't think so. So,
yeah, and I think a lot of people. This isn't really answering your question, but I think a lot of people who are Christian find themselves like they can see themselves in Charlie Kirk a little bit in the sense of like being not being able to speak up against what's being pushed back, and so it's like. Seeing him get killed was almost like a visual of what a lot of people spiritually are feeling in the culture and the times that we're living in. And so I think that's what resonates with people a little bit is that you're almost like, I don't know how to
like represent something.
Yeah. He represents like the faith in a sense. Now, I'm not saying he should, but I'm saying for a lot of people or for some people, I think, he's definitely, he represents the faith and what's coming against the faith. And so you see his life played out and you're like, man, that could be me. Not necessarily being assassinated, but like my character being assassinated, my integrity being assassinated.
Just how you feel about me.
Yeah.
Can I show you guys a different clip? Can I show you a clip? And I think this will help explain why people did what they did as far as a visual form. Let me show you something.
And I'm not here to debate you, but just to ask you for some advice. I married my beautiful wife last year at the age of 22. Thank you. And I just want to say I respect and admire, I've been watching from a distance, how your ability to lead your family, your beautiful wife, your beautiful children. And as a young man pursuing a marriage, I just want to ask if you had any advice on how I can pursue and maintain a God-centered marriage for the rest of my life.
And thank you for that. Number one, God must always come first from your spiritual disciplines. Honor the Sabbaths and turn off your phone for 1 day a week. Go to a church, a good Bible-based church. We have many of the pastors here that teach the Word of God verse by verse. And also understand that it's external things of the flesh like alcohol or porn or drugs or other temptations that will take down your marriage. You as the husband must constantly be at guard of things and also over shopping, over indulgence, too much credit cards, idolatry of vacations. You must guard the family from those things seeping in. So understand the order. It's God and then the marriage, and those things will bless your marriage from the devil who tries to undermine it and usurp your holy union.
I love it. Thank you, Charlie.
God bless you, man. Thank you.
What did you think of that clip?
It's good. It's good advice.
Yeah. I agree.
I think the people who are hosting the vigils and hosting the different things for him, I think that's the Charlie they see. And I think that's the Charlie they see. And then what they do is they understand the other comments he made, and they contextualize them. And what they don't make an excuse, but they understand why he said what he said, the way he said it. And I just think that's why you got the eulogies that you have of him. And not that he wasn't a polarizing figure, but I started thinking about the word polarizing figure, and I think we're all polarizing. I started thinking about, what would different family members say about you when you pass? What would different neighbors say about you when you pass? What would different friends say about you when you pass? What would even, your kids say about you when you pass? I started thinking about this, and that's the part where, I'll leave it up to people. If you would like to go to a vigil, go to a vigil. If you would like to pray for his family, pray for his family. That's what I commented back. Somebody said, I can't believe you pray for Charlie Kirk. You know what I said? Well, you don't have to pray. You don't have to agree with my prayer. I'm fine with that. Well, you're praying for a racist. That's your opinion. But even racist people need prayer. How do you expect them to change? Y'all like that one, huh? It just be coming to me real quick. We forgot. And what happens is we go, they're part of the left wing. No, they're part of the right wing. Yo, Dodo, it's still the same bird. You catch that? Whether it's left wing or right wing, you're all part of the same bird. We have got to understand we're not fighting a right or a left issue. We're fighting an up and a down issue. It's either heaven on earth or hell here on earth. You get to choose which one you want to either pull up or pull down. I'm trying to get as on earth as it is in heaven. Therefore, we must walk different. We must live different. But I can see why people do this. And I ain't mad at you. You want to have a vigil? Go get a vigil. You want to do that? Do what you need to do to get closure. I ain't tripping. But you don't got to put other people down. And I don't know where you're getting over you celebrating death. Listen, as much as I disagree with Gavin Newsom, I would never celebrate his death. He got small kids, man. He a human being. How's he ever going to repent and hear the real gospel if he ain't alive? I wouldn't celebrate that. Joe Biden's up in age. He going to pass. I ain't celebrating his passing. I may disagree with you politically. I told somebody this the other day because, I got extreme right-wing friends. I wouldn't sit down with anybody. I'd sit down with anybody and everybody over a good meal. Would you? Man, if they told me today Barack Obama wanted to have a steak, let's go have a steak. I'd love to talk to him. Oh, I can't believe you'd say that. Well, why not? He seemed like a cool dude. Outside of his political opinions, he seems like a good guy. I don't know. Let me have a steak. I'll let you know. Somebody said if Donald Trump invited me to the White House, I wouldn't go. I'd go. Why not? You ever been inside? I've never been inside. Last time I was there, it was shut down. I couldn't get in. You see what I'm saying? We're not sitting at the table no more. Jesus sat at tables of sinners and prostitutes and politicians and religious people. I was reading today. Did you guys do your reading today? You do read. What was that? Luke 16, right? It came up, and it says, and Jesus saw their hearts. Freaked me out again. Because people always say what? God knows my heart. That I was talking to Chase. I was talking to Chase on the phone. I said, that should scare the hell out of you. No, I don't mean that. I mean that literally. That should scare you so much that you're like, oh, man, I got to deal with my pride, my lust, my envy, my greed. I mean, I started going through the whole list. Should have just made that a rap song. I had bars on that. I was just going. And I'm like, and he sees you. And he sees you. You can fool people, but Jesus sees you. And I was like, that's the point I wanted to make, is that should scare you. God does know your heart. You know why I say all that? Because I had somebody reach out to me. They said, hey, Pastor, I'm really dealing with this with a friend. They're blowing me up. Hey, how do you know that Charlie Kirk's in heaven? This is gonna give me so much trouble, but it's really the truth, okay? How do you know Charlie Kirk's in heaven?
You don't.
How do you know Charlie Kirk's in heaven?
Don't.
You ready for this? I don't either. Ask me how I don't. How do you not know?
I'm not there.
How do you not know?
Yeah.
We're not there. Does Matthew 7 not scare you? Every time I read, I try to skip Matthew 7 because I'm so scared. And he says on that day, many will say what? Lord, Lord. And by the way, that Lord in the Greek is that Lord as in Lord over me. You know, the Adonai, the Soter, right? The Kyrios Soter, right? Lord and Savior. And he says, you may have thought you knew me, but I didn't never know you. So I responded back to the person, hey, to be honest with you, nobody knows whether or not he's making. Now, I will say this. By what I saw and how I heard him talk about his faith in Jesus Christ, one could lead to believe that he accepted and repented of his sins and was aware of his sins, and he was trying to walk the straight and narrow. One could believe that. So therefore, I could say, I believe he is in heaven, but I don't know for sure. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I would say based on the little I've seen of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same assessment we give people when we do funerals. Like, it appears as though, I mean, obviously you don't say it during the funeral, but
that'd be a little awkward, yes.
You may or may not see Grandpa again. All right. No, I leave that out on my funerals. But, yeah, you would assume based on his, belief in Christ that that's where he's at. But you don't know.
People might say, but he was active in church.
That means nothing.
And he knew the scripture.
Don't mean nothing.
And he knew the worship song, Brandon Lake songs.
Means nothing.
All he said because it's your favorite.
Well, Brandon Lake.
Or Lecrae. Lecrae. He was a Creasy fan.
Oh, yeah, Lecrae. Get you. That's an automatic pass.
But does that make sense? How do you know you're going to heaven?
Oh, I know Jesus.
Okay.
Oh, I know I'm going to heaven.
Okay. How do you know you're going to heaven?
I'm good.
No, how do you know?
Oh, because I love Jesus.
Okay.
I love Jesus and I obey.
But okay, so what would you say to a person? Hey, Mike, how do you know that you're going to heaven?
What
would you say to them if they say, well, how do you know you're going to heaven?
Because Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I obey everything He tells me to do.
Okay. 100% of the time, though?
Yeah, I'm good, 99.5.
It gets you into Canton. Okay, what about you? If they said, how do you know you're going, what would you say?
I received Jesus, my Lord and Savior.
Okay. So that's what I answered the person. I said, but I don't know because I'm not there. Right? So let me ask you this. What's going around right now is you've got a lot of people, and here we go again. I'm going to defriend this people. I'm not going to talk to this person because they see it this way, because they're laughing and celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, because they defended Charlie Kirk. Are we at that point again? Are we at that point again where we got to unfriend people and basically tell people we're never going to talk to them again? Or what would you say to that? We got a lot of that going on right now.
Have conversations with people. Just be willing to talk with people. I mean, if they're your friend, talk about it, and see where they're coming from, and share what you believe and where you're coming from, and try to understand, each other's side. I mean, each side might have a valid point, but you're not willing to hear it out. You never know. And
let's say they do have valid points. Do you still defriend them, or you just go, hey man, you're just gonna see it differently?
Yeah, hopefully you can come to some agreement. Just about hopefully in faith you come to the same agreement of we're united because of Christ.
What if they're not in faith? What if they don't have faith?
Then that's up to you.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I mean, you got two different people anyways. You're coming from two different points of view. So, I mean, I will try to be, hopefully be reasonable, still be friends, but your foundation isn't the same.
What do you think?
We may not be friends. I mean, I think they're depending on who you are and what you believe in, the table for us as friends may not be available.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean I'm going to celebrate your death or I'm going to wish ill upon you. But like, there are certain things that people believe in and certain things that they do, we're not going to be friends. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I also tell my kids that too. You don't got to be friends with everybody. It doesn't mean you got to be a jerk to everybody. But the friendship table for me isn't for everybody.
When it comes to people who profess themselves to be believers,
I got to try to figure out a way to sit down.
Okay.
And it's not always easy.
So you're saying if it's non-believer, hey man, this
yeah, because they may be into some crazy stuff,
Satanist stuff. Yeah.
They may
right.
do.
He make a good point right there.
Mm-hmm. You do child sacrifice. We're not going to sit down and be friends. Well, the friendship table is not for us.
It's true. No, you're real.
Right? So like there is a delineation. There are some times where we're just not going to meet there.
Believers, how come believers aren't really willing to sit down and talk about this?
It's hard. It's hard work.
But isn't it supposed to be hard?
I wish it wasn't.
Yeah, but when did we get lazy and duck stuff that's hard?
When you could get behind a keyboard.
Saw somebody posted this. They said, "Stop scrolling and start talking."
Man, I got off.
Matter of fact, Chris Pratt came on, and he prayed for people. It was really dope. I can show it to you. You guys want to see it?
Who's
Yeah.
Chris,
it's not Superman.
Star-Lord. Come on, man. Guardian of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt. He's one of the Jurassic Park.
Okay, I was like,
You know who he is. I'm going to show you.
I don't know his name. I know who he is. Yeah,
I'm like
that's
Star-Lord. What is that?
Yeah,
I know.
Hey,
I
one
know
of the
that
best
ain't help me.
movies.
That ain't
Yeah.
help
Bro,
me.
one of the best movies. That was great. Okay, watch this. Here he is. Hold on.
Hey guys, just stop real quick and pray with me. Lord, you say, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. In this moment, please, Lord, calm my restless mind. Quiet my anxious heart. Help me set aside distractions and choose what gives life and gives peace. Isaiah 26:3, you keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you. Lord, fill me with strength to turn my attention toward you, that I find rest and joy in your presence. Amen. Okay, now you can continue strolling, or you can turn your phone off and go outside. Might I suggest the latter? Go get some sunshine, go look at a tree, touch some grass, call a friend. If you've got time to be on your phone right now, you've got time to do your to-do list, and you've got time to reach out to somebody in need and share this prayer with them. Amen.
What'd you think? That was dope, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we need more of that. That's good.
I told you I'd show it to you. What'd you think?
Yeah,
That's Star-Lord, by the way. That's Guardians of the Galaxy. That's
he's a lord, huh?
No, it's just his name in the show. Yeah, he's got Jurassic Park. I mean, he's got some good movies.
Yeah, I've seen the rest. Yeah, I know who he is now.
Yeah, I think he's right though. We need more prayer, more friendships. We need more community, and I think that's the problem. We don't have it. We have people getting in their echo chambers. Your algorithm only feeds your echo chamber. We don't have people having real conversation. And can I just be the first to say this? You're not going to agree 100% of the time with people. And they're not going to agree with you 100% of the time. Stop looking for it. And there's going to be some things like this that you're just going to see it different. And it's okay. It could still be friends. We're quite all right. None the lesser right now. And I think people are missing that. I think people are so fired up that they just get in their exclusive sides, and they're not realizing that we're missing it. We're missing opportunities to have conversations. And so that leads me to this question to you. What should be the church's response? How should the church be responding right now, in your opinion?
Man, I don't know. I mean, for me personally, it's just renewing the faith, like knowing that not everyone's going to like you even because of your faith.
Okay.
Like just because you do good doesn't mean people are going to talk good about you or like that you're trying to help people. No matter what, there's always going to be someone there to say something negative about you. And so just like do your best to care about those people who are around you and love those people around you. I mean, I don't know if he was a racist or not. I don't know if he was this evil guy or not. Some of the comments he makes I don't like. Some of the comments he makes I really like. Just do the best I can to actually live out my life that, hey, if this is my last 24 hours, I'm not regretting it. Mm-hmm. Like, people aren't looking back and it's like, going through my phone. It was like, oh, what did he do before he died? Like, I want that to be like, how did I talk to my kids before I died? Like, because they talk about his last 24 hours and it just made me step back and think, like, man.
Oh, he spent it with his family.
Yeah. Like, what is that going to look like for me? Mm-hmm. David Goggins came out saying, like, some videos, like, what have you done for the last 72 hours? He's just running. I'm like, man, like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I want my time to actually mean something.
Okay. What should be the church's response? Because we can't win. If you don't talk about it, if you do talk about it, got my pastor friend saying people just left. You know, people are mad, defending the racists.
I think we just got to preach the gospel. Yeah, preach the gospel. You know, what I thought about was Stephen. I thought about Stephen and the cost of following Christ, and whether or not you label him as somebody who was a Christ follower and somebody who died for their faith. Like just put that to the side. For us, there are things that are going to cost us when we follow Christ. And there is going to be opposition. There's going to be pushback, and just the idea of like Deshaun said, a renewal of faith. What does the church do? The church does what Pastor Raquel yesterday did, and she preached on hope.
Yeah,
there's hope in Christ.
So I want to show you what's been going viral. There's you got a group of pastors who say if your pastor didn't preach about Charlie Kirk, you need to go find another church. I'm going to show you that clip. I'm going to show you the other one that says, if your pastor preached on Charlie Kirk, guess what he says? Go find another church. Okay? So I'm going to show you these back to back, and then I want to get your thoughts on that, because I feel like, once again, I said it in the beginning, I'm going to say it now, it's hard to be in the middle. It's hard to be in the middle because you could just get in your echo chambers on one side or the other. Watch this.
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half staff calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who were mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live. I am overwhelmed.
Okay, here's the next one. Mark Driscoll. Going to shoot a video today on how to find a new church. If your church is godly and address the event of this week, please comment the name and location. My team is building a recommendation list. So if your church didn't talk about it, go find a new one. And if your church did talk about it, I'm going to build a recommendation list, because I am Mark Driscoll, and I'm just that important that I could have a recommendation list.
Making his list in Home Depot and parking lot.
Yeah, checking it twice. Going to find out who's illegal and who's ice. You know what I'm saying? Bars. That was a shout out to Mark Driscoll and his "you should go to Home Depot to find Mexicans" comment.
He said, let's get everyone into a good godly church.
Let's get everybody to good godly church. I still got a bone to pick with him about that Home Depot, talking about my people. That was racist, Deshaun. Just if we can clear the air on that, okay? That was racist.
Okay.
He pushed the prejudicial line too far.
That prejudicial line went a little too far because it was the smirk. And he laughed.
He did laugh.
He did laugh. I don't need to play that clip again.
He did.
He did. And he never offered an apology, nothing. Anyway, the difference. Just throwing that out there, too. So we have this going on right now. We have this going on. We have it going on. Go find a church. Go get a different church. Go do this. Will you ever find a church that just agrees with you 100% of the time?
No, probably not. No.
Do you agree with yourself 100% of the time?
No, I don't agree with all the decisions I make.
Do you agree with yourself 100% of the time?
No.
I disagree with myself by the end of the day at least 2 or 3 times.
I have already had at least one moment today where I had to apologize.
That's what I'm saying. Can I give you a case in point? The other day I thought to myself, man, I hadn't had KFC in so long.
Oh.
No, I'm not kidding. I hadn't had KFC and I had to go get gas.
And you got it.
And I went to KFC and 2 bites in, you know what I thought? Now I remember why I haven't had KFC in a long time.
You got that gas, all right.
I disagree with myself 5 minutes after I made a decision. Okay, so you're never going to find a church that aligns 100% with what you align with. Because here's the truth. Your alignment to your own self is going to change the older you get. You're going to see things differently. I'm telling you two as parents of young kids, right now, you will watch yourself radically change over the next 5 to 10 years. There's going to be stuff. Wait till they start driving. There's going to be stuff out of you didn't even know was inside you. I'm telling you, this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And now you got pastors out here those 2 clips, who did either one of those people really help? Who did it really help?
Just the people who
already feel that way.
Yeah.
Who did that? Who, I am overwhelmed. Well, okay. Well, Jesus says, cast all your cares on him because he careth for you. Matthew 11:28. Bring me your burdens. You don't have to be overwhelmed no more. I mean, I don't want to tell the preacher how to preach, but I'm just saying I got scripture for you. Mark Driscoll. I'm making a list. All right, Santa. Everybody look out now. Marky Mark got a list. Should be nervous. Who did that help?
So the first one, this is an argument that was sort of presented to me. Part of it was, why do we care so much about this, but not care about other issues that are going on? Like instance one, like immigration. Like, hey, these people are like, families are getting torn apart. Like, the church doesn't care about these people, but we care so much about this one person. And that's the thing, like, some people are wrestling with. Like, why is it such a big deal?
Explain it further. Go ahead.
No, yeah, that was it.
Well, and I think I think I answered that a little bit earlier. I think people can see themselves in his shoes.
Yeah, and so their question is like, how are we called to love people? And it's just showing that we love all people, or just like, no, this is just, I see myself in this, and this is it.
Well, I will say that. Okay,
I'm still trying to weed through. What's the actual question?
How come people are outraged about this, but they're not outraged about other things? One of my answers to that would be that there's always going to be a countless amount of things that we could be outraged about. And so it's like, can you always be outraged about everything? No, you can't.
That takes too much energy.
But the good thing is that God has given you the conviction and you the means to actually do something, and me to do something for something else, and you to do something else. And so if we do all that together, then we can add up all of our convictions and all of our anger and all the things that we see that are wrong in the world, and we can make it better. Or we could just talk about it. Now, going back to the clips, I was thinking about it. I think how they decide to do a delivery from the pulpit, that's on him, whatever. But I'm really cautious as I'm kind of getting older, I guess. I'm really cautious of judging what God is telling you to do as a leader. And, you know, when you say, oh, well, you pastor should have addressed this or should have addressed it in a certain way. If I really, and I'm like in the church, right? In my church, saying that you, pastor, should have either addressed something or addressed it in a certain way, I'm inserting myself in as the pastor.
Yeah.
And I'm also inserting myself into what God is speaking to you. And so if I truly believe that God is leading our church in a certain direction, and that direction has you address it in a certain way, then I've got to be okay with it if this is my church.
Yeah.
But delivery and all those different things can always get better. But I'm very cautious in saying, well, a pastor should have said it and they should have said it a certain way.
Did that answer your question at all?
Yeah, so no, I mean, I have the same argument as him. I do understand like what people will say is like, I mean, why don't we care about, if we really love people, we should show that we care about these people in a greater way.
Just taking this one by one, just help me to understand, because I'm still a little lost. So going back to the ICE thing, I don't know anybody who was deported. Do you know anybody who was deported?
No.
Okay, can I just say, you guys know me fair enough. If we had a brother or sister in the church who was either locked up, detained, or getting deported, do you not think I'd speak about it or try to go help him? That's where I'm lost at. You guys know me. Well, who would be the first one there? Me. You see? Do you see where I'm coming from? So I don't understand.
I don't think it's our church. I think it's just the national.
Oh, okay.
No, not
that's why I was confused.
Like,
I was
like Christians in general.
Oh, yeah. I don't have that answer. I don't know.
Well, and that's why I said there's an endless amount of things.
Yeah.
But I mean, this thing is so big. Like, again, to me,
I just think. Oh, well, my short answer, if I can, my short answer, because he was a political figure that everybody looked up to. He was well known. Yeah. He was well known. I mean, this is trending. If I can play the other side of the card, if I can, just for all sakes and purposes,
and the way he died. Too. I mean,
I was going to get. I was going to get there.
Yeah.
But if they had somebody like, who's Bill Maher, he's well known on the left, very outspoken, does the whole thing, prove me wrong. If he was to die of an assassination like that, we'd all be talking about it. I mean, does that make sense? Or Charlemagne the God, if he was taken out at a college university. Right? You know what I mean? We'd be talking about it.
Yep.
So I think there's a little bit of a difference
Without
there.
a doubt.
Okay, I do have a serious question, and I've waited to the end to ask this. This is a personal thing, okay? I've been wrestling with, okay? So it's personal. I mean, not personal as in I just want to air this out. Was he a martyr, though? Should we be eulogizing him as a Christian martyr? Do you need a definition of a term for martyr, or are you pretty clear on the definition, or...
Do I think he died for his faith? Because of his faith?
No, martyr.
You can give a definition.
Okay. Because here's where I got it. Here's where this gets challenging.
A martyr or a Christian martyr?
No, they're saying Charlie Kirk was a martyr. Okay, it's giving it to me. The term martyr refers to someone who suffers or dies for their beliefs, often religious or ideological, or someone who endures great suffering for a cause. Historically, martyrs are revered, in various cultures and religions such as Christian, saints, Islamic jihadists, or who sacrifice their lives for the faith and principles. So ideologically or religious. Was Charlie Kirk...
I think that would be like maybe the debate would be, okay...
Well, let's just start off with, do you believe he was a martyr?
Yes.
Okay. For what, though? That's where I was... Okay, do you believe he was a martyr?
Yeah, for political reasons.
Okay. That's what
and I think that's the debate. Is he a Christian martyr, or is... Because people are gonna say, well, we're Christians and we don't believe what he believed in. So I think that's kind of maybe what I would think is going to be the debate.
Okay, and what were you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, nothing. No, I don't think it's any debate. He ain't no Christian martyr.
Okay, but why do you say that?
Because that's not his main thing. He wasn't going around preaching the gospel, getting people saved. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't his overall goal.
That was my conclusion. We're going to get killed for this, by the way.
What? Well, there's no argument.
They're arguing, bro. They're arguing. Trust me, they're arguing right now.
You're arguing the devil. I don't know who you're arguing with.
Well, they're arguing amongst themselves.
Would the argument be that... but his values were
Christian.
Biblical-based values?
Yeah, but he wasn't preaching the gospel.
No. So how I landed on this, I don't believe he was a Christian martyr. Okay, because the first person to get that crown was Stephen. What was Stephen doing? He was preaching the gospel. So, but I do believe he was a martyr, especially for his ideological beliefs. I don't think that's an argument. He was a martyr. I just don't give him the term Christian martyr because they were talking about he has a crown waiting for him, a martyr's crown. I don't. That's just my opinion. If that offends some of you Charlie Kirk fans, then I don't know what to do. I'm sorry about that.
Yep.
But I just
change your mind.
Well, I just see it as Christian as a little bit different because we do have people who are real Christian martyrs in the sense of they were preaching the gospel in China, in communist Russia, in all these places, and it cost them their life literally. They had to either deny Christ or die, and they chose death. Does that make sense? That's just me. Okay, so here's my closing thing. I'm going to show you one last clip, and how would you guys handle this? Okay, one last clip because we are all pastors. I felt like we've done a very thorough job of discussing all this. I know we still got our own little differences on the races and all this other stuff. And I think we will. I think that's just part of us going through what we go through. So I want to show you this because this is a question that my pastor friends are asking me. And this is a person who is saying what they did. It's a real life scenario, okay? So watch this.
Hey, good morning. Well, I mentioned it yesterday. I said, if your church doesn't acknowledge Charlie Kirk, a defender of the gospel. You walk out. You walk out. I've been coming to this church for over a decade, and a moment of silence, a prayer. I mean, even the Yankees in New York did it. I don't know how much of the gospel they follow, but that's it. Actually, I've been coming here for, probably about 10, 11 years. So, goodbye, Vineyard, North Phoenix. God bless you. Thank you for everything.
So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, he might want to examine himself to see if he's in the faith.
Why you say it like that?
God ain't leading them.
I'm listening.
You're just walking away because you got offended. Because for what purpose? God told you to leave there? You've been in church for 10 years and that's how you respond? Obviously, you're not that mature a believer.
So what would you recommend to Carlos Reyes? It looks like it.
Mm.
I mean,
Carlos Reyes,
Don't
what would you
go to
say?
Mark Driscoll's church. Sorry.
You couldn't resist. Huh?
Yeah, he's in Arizona, man.
He doesn't need to.
He was in Arizona.
He doesn't need to.
He
He's
was
making
in,
a list.
He was in Arizona.
But he talked about it. Mark Driscoll talked about it.
Go ahead.
No, the fact, I mean, you're just immature. You've been there for 10 years. Yeah, like you just came to church. Like you have no discussion with anyone. I'm just going to walk out.
But there's people are chiming in that, hey, our church attendance is up over this much. People are coming back to faith. You know what I said? It's just people like him going to a church that's an echo board. That's an echo chamber, right? That's just saying what he wanted to hear. He's going to go find a church that did a Charlie Kirk vigil, and that church is going to grow. He's probably got a family and friends, and there's probably going to grow 10, 15 people. So are we really growing or you know what I mean? Like I'm saying that there's always going to be the exceptions where people had a college-age friend who were just starting to follow Charlie. They watched him die a horrible death. They want to go in church. They're interested. They're not a previous church person. There's going to be those, yes. But the majority, in my opinion, is going to be people like that. Am I wrong?
Is it very possible? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unfortunate that you would walk away from the church after that long, and it seems like maybe mid-service.
Mid-service, you can hear the preaching
because
going.
there's nobody outside and stuff. I just, as pastor, like I would hope that after 10 years we could have a conversation before you left. But I guess not.
Having been through this in our own sort of way, doxing, politicizing, harassed, all the stuff that we went through, watching people leave, people who said, it's interesting. You go from a hero to a villain real quick.
That hero to zero was pretty quick, huh?
Pretty quick, bro. It's one of those ones where, 6 months ago I was a key component of why your marriage was saved. 6 months later, I'm the devil's half brother himself. Different moms, of course, different moms. And it's just it's really interesting. So I have a couple thoughts. Actually, it's along the lines of both of you. Where is your spiritual maturity? Really? So one misstep or one non-step is going to get you to leave a church after we've been together 10 years? What other relationships are we willing to throw away so fast, so quickly? Number two, I'm not worth a conversation? You didn't at least want to pick my brain? I don't know. Maybe I had something planned for a Monday night or a Tuesday night. Maybe I was getting my slideshow together. Maybe I was collecting my own thoughts. Maybe I am. Maybe I watched that video and I got a little PTSD. Like I'm trying to collect my own thoughts. Like I'm doing the best I can just to get up and preach. Right? Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe I'm trying to sort through some of my own feelings. Maybe I had a little angst against him myself personally. I got to get my heart right. I don't know. Are we not allowed to be human too? But I just think we've reached a fever pitch. And for those who are looking to have a villain and to rejoice that the villain has lost in this story, you got it. Go ahead, celebrate. Do you. Go ahead. Have your Sunday service where you get to talk about the way you died doesn't take away the way you lived. Do your service. Or if you want to get up at your service and you want to have a whole 20-minute presentation about Charlie and how wonderful he was, go ahead, do you. I got to do what God has called me to do. I've got to preach the gospel. God has called me to fight for the radical middle, and I'm fighting as hard as I can. Not taking sides, calling it as is. And if God leads me to pray for a person, I'm going to pray for a person. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. Whether it's Joe Biden or Charlie Kirk, I will pray. Whether it's Donald Trump or Barack Obama, I will pray because God has asked me to pray. God didn't ask me to judge. He asked me to pray. He didn't ask for my opinion. He asked me to pray. And I'm going to do that. I'm not going to be a Peter when God has called me to be a Cornelius. Just do what I'm asking you to do. Yes, Lord, I will. And if God asks me to bring it up and say, we need to pray for the Kirk family on a Sunday, we're going to pray. Because that's the least I can do. It don't cost me nothing. And if that offends you and you walk out of church, well, I love you. I really do hope you reach out. We can have a conversation. I love to sit down. Jesus always took the time to sit down with people. Let's sit down with people. But this is the point we've gotten to. And I want to talk to the pastors. You don't got to duck it or dodge it. You just got to be obedient to what God is asking you to do. Yeah. That's all you got to do. And to the sheep that are in the fold, well, if you love your pastor, have a conversation. Really get to see the heart behind what's going on. We don't got to side up. This is not the time to side up. If anything, you got to be on Christ's side. Learn from Joshua. To the angel Lord, whose side you on? He goes, I'm on my own side, son. You better recognize. We need to get on God's side. We don't need to choose sides. We don't need to make lists, recommendations, report your church to me as if I'm going to do something. Nah, man, it's about Christ and the kingdom. We used to have a saying, keep it Jesus. And that's exactly what we need to do now. We need to keep it Jesus. I feel horrible for Charlie's wife and the kids. I feel horrible. That video's out there. It ain't going to be scrubbed. That's wrong. And if you want to get up as a man or woman of God and say that's horrible and that's wrong, that just shows you have compassion. And you're able to say, listen, man, don't know about the dude, never met him. I don't know that I agree with everything, but man, nobody deserves that. There ain't nothing wrong with saying that. You should not be vilified for saying that. That is wrong. And the parts where he did defend the gospel, man, that's a brother in Christ. Good on you, Charlie Kirk, for defending that gospel. He stood up for marriages. Good on you, Charlie Kirk. He went out of his way to help certain people. I'm not to judge the motives on why he helped them. Good on you, Charlie Kirk, because I wouldn't want anybody to judge me if a brother was broken down and I pulled over to help him. Oh, pastor only did that because he knew people was watching. People will say that, though. People will say it. We can laugh all we want. People won't say that. But I will know this. People will speak good of me on my death, and people will speak ill of me on my death. I just hope there's far more people speaking good than there is ill, and that's all I can live my life for. That's all I can do right here and right now. So I'm going to encourage you. You be obedient to God, but we're not going to side up. We're not going to do this, whether they say this or they don't say this. And listen, if your conviction leads you to leave your church because you feel like they didn't handle it the right way, I would just say, would you pray on that? Would you legit pray on that? Would you give it 30, 60 days? Don't be that person who's so quick to dismiss that you didn't have a conversation. Jesus was always willing to sit at a table and discuss things. Can we get back to that? Can we get back to having more conversations, pulling people a little bit closer? Say, listen, we don't gotta agree, we don't gotta see eye to eye to walk hand in hand. That's the beauty of the kingdom. In all things, keep it Jesus. We out.
When people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group. What we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not an option.